maayong gabi. Ani ana punta karon sa ato ang regular last Wednesday of the month nga habit, ang Partners in Law. I am Attorney Irene Ann Caballas of the Cebu Lady Lawyers Association, and I am also with the Legal Alternatives for Women Center Inc. Tonight is January 30, 2019, and our topic this evening is a very serious issue in Philippine society today. It's the online sexual exploitation of children. And joining me as co-anchor, I'm very happy and honored that we have with us a young and beautiful Celian, Attorney Celia Marie Kimberly Lee, or Attorney Kim, as co-anchor. Attorney Kim, good evening.
Good evening. Yes, thank you, Attorney Irene. I'm also very honored to be here co-hosting with you. Hi, good mayong gabi sa inyong tanan. And for tonight, we'll have our guest speaker. She is the director of the legal intervention of IJM Cebu. Among ipaila-ila sa inyong tanan, si Attorney Lucille Dahito. Good evening, Attorney Lucille.
Good evening, Attorney
Welcome to
Kim. Good
Partners
evening,
in Law.
Attorney Irene. Thank you for having me. And sa ato mga viewers, maayong gabi kaninyong tanan.
Mayong gabi.
Tell us a little something about yourself, Attorney Lucille, and also of IJM.
Oh, yes. Sa giingon na nga, I serve as Director of Legal Intervention sa IJM Cebu. In my role, I supervise and lead a team of lawyers who serve as private prosecutors sa mga OSEC cases or online sexual exploitation cases, not only in Metro Cebu but all over the Visayas and some parts in Mindanao. So we work closely with the public prosecutors.
Okay. Ang IJM, this is an international organization, right?
Yes.
This is a non-government
Yes,
organization.
we are an NGO. So IJM is an international anti-slavery organization.
And ang acronym stands for...
International Justice Mission.
So, when you say anti-slavery nga kanang organization, it includes all forms of slavery, such as...
Yes, so our work entails us to combat different forms of slavery, such as forced labor, commercial sexual exploitation of children, also sex trafficking of children in brothels, bars.
And even of women, no?
Yes, of women and children. Yes.
Okay.
And so with that introduction of IJM, let us proceed now to the main topic nato, which is the online sexual exploitation of children. Ms. Attorney Lucille,
Yes.
can you please tell us unsa maning OSEC or online sexual exploitation of
So,
children?
OSEC, or Online Sexual Exploitation of Children, it is actually the production for purposes of online publication, any visual depictions. It could be photos, it could be videos, it could even be live streaming of a sexual abuse or exploitation of a child by a third party, and of course for money or profit.
Attorney Lucille, this when you say third party, does it
Yes.
mean just people here in the Philippines, or could it be like kanang naa sa abroad yun nga mga tao nga pwede
So the
mahimong
third party that I'm referring to here are actually mostly customers who are overseas. So the way that OSEC is committed is you have a local facilitator here, a local trafficker based in the Philippines. This trafficker has access to children. So it could be her children, her nieces, nephews, or even neighbors. And this local facilitator has access to internet and also computer devices, mobile devices.
But that's like 60% of Filipinos?
That's true. So 60% of the Filipinos have
and then
access
how
to
much
internet.
more outside sa country? Daghan
Right.
mag na ay access gyud
True.
sa internet karon.
Yeah.
So how do you detect that, or how do you stop that? Kaya when you say it's a visual depiction,
Yes.
visual lang or what, not pwede pong auditory?
It could be, when we say visual depiction, it could be both auditory and
Or
also visual, like
visual.
videos. It's both auditory and visual.
And kaning if children, attorney, does this mean boys and girls?
Yes, it's both boys and girls. In fact, in the cases that IJM has supported, we have rescued not only girls but including boys because they come in sibling groups.
So mga sisters, brothers, cousins. tanan,
Yes, that's true.
A
Yes.
community. So when you say visual depiction, like it could be just their pictures. Have you tried just their pictures, or usually it's in the video mode or live streaming mode na pahubuon sila unsa man
Yes.
ka?
So usually it is a live stream video, meaning live stream video is like a real time show that's being streamed live through any platform. It could be through Facebook before na by Messenger. It could be
Messenger.
Skype. So and these are just not
They would
regular
resort through
videos.
that, mga as common as Facebook and Skype. And
Yes, yes. So there are different types of platforms. It could be
How about
through
cell phone?
social media.
Cell phone.
Yes, so cell phone is cell phone and computers and laptops are the devices used.
Okay.
The platforms used are the applications, Skype, Messenger, where you can have video calls or you can have chats. So these are the platforms being used by
may
perpetrators.
space sa una or may
May
wala to.
Friendster, dugay na kay
Dugay na to.
Friendster. Yes, so Messenger sa una, Yahoo Messenger. Karon
yeah.
we have Facebook,
Facebook
Messenger,
Messenger.
na ay Skype. And these are only kani mga Facebook, mga Skype. These are only the surface web-based platforms. Naa pa na yung mga more dili pa kaayo famous like Kik or Wire. These are not common platforms,
yes.
but they are being used as well. So na pa na yung mga child
Kanang
porn sites.
what they call the dark internet.
the
Oh,
dark
the
web.
dark
Yeah, the
web.
dark
Oh.
web. Part of it, yes, the dark web.
Oh, yeah. Sa imong experience, Attorney Lucille, because I have seen you in court, you were prosecuting trafficking cases. So online sexual exploitation is a form of trafficking.
Yes, it is a form of human trafficking.
Pero di ba in the community ang uban maingon man nga unsa may dautan or unsa may nawa na mo ana nga kanang igo ra man na even makadungog ko aning ato ang mga women no nga ganahan lagi sila magka-boyfriend nga Amerikano. Anyways, storyahan ra bitaw na
Right.
over
That's
the
true.
the chat unsay makawaan. Do you have a challenge also trying to reach the community and trying to show how pernicious this is when the common reaction is wa may mawala ana
Yes.
kay kanang igo ra man mi gapakita wa man mi gapahikap wa di man mi kaila ng
Walay no
mga-
physical contact
physical
involved.
contact. So
Yeah. Actually, kanang giingon nga walay mawala sa bata kay wala nagihikap. That is actually a myth.
that's yes.
And sa mga cases nga among nakita, can you just imagine a 6-year-old child or a girl grew up in an environment or a family that is normal. Yes, wala siya gihikap ang bata. Naamang it varies is a spectrum. Na ay mga shows nga pabarugon ang bata, pahubuon, na apoy actual sexual acts being com child. That's already rape.
Or
And
making the child and another child have
yes, and even adults to a child. So, these are, for those who are saying that it's just as simple as standing naked, no, it's not. Because we have seen a lot in a lot of our cases that it's more than just standing naked in front of a camera. There are actual sexual acts being done to the child, and the child is taught to do it to another child. So, kung maingon ka nga walay damage done, that alone is already harmful to the child, the psychological makeup of the child, and the child growing in an environment where exploitation is normal.
yes.
So what it really comes down to is kaning lack of understanding nga na ay detrimental effect yun ni sa physical, mental, developmental or psychological impact sa bata yun. And of course, there's complicity of relatives kay
It's true.
perpetrators could be the family themselves.
Because it's lucrative.
Yes,
Lucrative
also, yes,
business.
for the money.
How if you don't mind sharing, how lucrative is it? Like kanang the disrobing of a child for the camera, how much would it earn
Right.
the family?
Right. So we have cases where if it is a video, it could or a show, it could range up to $20, $25 to even $100 per show. And it is just a very short show, just a few minutes. If what the trafficker is selling are photos, it could be in batch of 50 worth 5,000 pesos. So, and can you imagine how many few minutes in a day, right?
Yes.
How many
Videos.
batch of 50 photos can you sell to different person? These are the same sets of photos. So it's very lucrative.
Lucrative.
And the thing that I would want to point out is that it's not only lucrative, but there is also impunity here. If the trafficker thinks that he can get away with it, kay sa balay ra mahitabo, nagtanaw sila nga dili ko madakpan kay naara man ni sa balay, way nakakita, nanirado ko sa bintana sa purtahan. And if they are able to do and commit those crimes without being caught or being penalized or being made answerable to those crimes, then there is impunity.
They can do it again and
Yes,
again.
and it makes it even more profitable for them.
Have you had any case where ang former victim mo na hinoon when she grows up, she's the one pimping or sourcing?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we have cases like that. The sad reality is when timely intervention or rescue does not happen to the victim, and she grows up in an environment and a family where exploitation and abuse is normal, she would evolve into a perpetrator herself. So that's where it's very important that crime detection and identifying these children, where the children are, and rescue has to happen right away in time.
So, Attorney Lucille, usually what laws do you
Yes.
utilize to
Right.
to prosecute kaning mga perpetrators of trafficking or online sexual exploitation?
Right. One incident or act of OSEC, online sexual exploitation of children, is actually a violation of at least 4 laws. So we have a violation of RA 9208 as amended by 10364. It is the Expanded Anti-Trafficking in Persons Act. It could be a violation also of Section 4C or 4C1 or 4C2 of RA 10175, our Cybercrime Prevention Act. It could also be a violation under RA 9775, Anti-Child Porn Law. And then, of course, a violation of RA 7610, our Child Abuse Law. Yes.
So 4 violations.
That's true.
Kung sa under sa trafficking, para makadungog sad ning mga naminaw nato ba basig na amoy kaila who is so inclined nga ilahang ipa-model ang ilahang
Right.
ilahang mga kids niya kinsa ra bagod in town may modelan or pa-post-postan primero bathing suit pa ang ipa-post kinsa may customer foreigners kay o man na usually mo bayad.
Right.
Oh. So listen to this ha. Pilay silot Attorney Lucille kung sa anti-trafficking law considering that the victim is a child.
Right. Life imprisonment.
Life.
Life imprisonment. That's only a penalty under one law. If you talk about the same act as a violation of RA 9775 or even in relation to RA 10175, we're talking about 20 to 40 years of imprisonment. Kung child abuse, it could range up to 12 years to 20 years.
So, napay life, Attorney Kim.
Yes. Attorney
napay.
Lucille, napud ba sila fine pud ana nga i-pay?
Yes. So in addition to the years of imprisonment, napagyoy multa. Wa pa nailabot ang damages nga bayaran pag yun.
So dira ka
No?
mapriso, magbayad
Magbayad
pagid ka.
pagid.
Multa pag yun ka. Unya, we're not talking about thousands of pesos here. We're talking about millions of
5
pesos.
million,
Yes.
right?
2 mil sa trafficking, 2 million to 5 million pesos.
Yeah, plus the other fines pa. So, how many lives do you have? Di ba ito naon 20 to 40 years dire. 12 to 20 ngan sa pikas pud na law. And then life imprisonment sa asa naman kamugawa sa ana.
Yes.
Magdugta. You think it is harmless?
Right. They think, traffickers think of it as business, diba, profit. But if ilang huna-hunaon kung ang ilahang gi-invest mobile phone, internet, data, unya sa balay ra murag barato ra kay ilang kapital, no, investment, 'di ba? Libre pa ng mga bata. Pero if you think about the penalty once madakpan ka, from a mindset of a business person, that is not a good deal.
That's not
It's
a
not
good deal.
profitable at
And
all.
what is hurtful is that you might actually have affection and love for your children.
That's true.
You might really think amo ni makahawas na mo sa amo ang kalisod, and your children might actually also love you. That's why they believe in what you say nga okay ra ni kay anyway naaramang ka sa camera. But if you are prosecuted for that, you are taken away from them. How does that help you or your
Correct.
family?
Yeah.
Guba, jud.
Yes.
So, Attorney Lucille, from the recorded cases or from your experience, what is the pinaka-youngest nga child nga na biktima ani?
Yes. The youngest child that we supported a rescue of is a 2-month-old baby.
2 months.
What can you do to a 2-month-old baby?
Yeah.
Unsa kinaaday mo kuan gyud anang
Bakit
2-month-old
pa nagipanganak?
baby?
Yes. So when
Naay dream mo naay ganahan og
if you look into the minds
Oh my God.
of these pedophiles, it's really unthinkable what they desire of these children as young as a 2-month-old. So because they're perverted, so they can think of a lot of ways where they could just satisfy their sexual desires. Fetish mangguda nilang mga bata.
what will you do to a 2-month-old man na di man na
Yes.
maka-react? So naagud sila'y i-demand nga do this
Yes.
to the
Someone
So
will
the-
be there.
Customers will be the one dictating what acts will be done to the child.
oh my god.
And that is live. That's on a live stream show.
Diba, is that kid still alive? I hope. Oh, yeah, we were able to rescue.
Yes, fortunately,
My
we were
God.
able to rescue the 2-month-old, and the 2-month-old and other
Other
siblings are given
siblings.
aftercare services by DSWD and our aftercare partners as well.
Kaya mag-imagine, what can you, di ba, what, 2-month-old baby, unsa may ilang ganahan taon na ano, but then, naagyo di ay, marag deviant pod na
That's
people
true.
in the world. That's what they get, those are the kicks that they get out of it. Anyway, nindot ato ang topic karon, but we have to pause for a few messages from our friends. We will be back.
Hi, we're back with Partners in Law and magpadayon ta sa atong discussion about sa kaning online sexual exploitation of children. So, nata atong before we had a break, nag-talk ta katong pinaka-youngest ka bata nga na-victimize ani. You said it was a 2-month-old baby. And so, can we have like a statistics attorney of the OSEC cases that were recorded? Yes.
What are the usual ranges in age of the children preferred by these sexual predators?
Yeah.
So, ilang-
IJM started working officially on OSEC cases in 2016, but our first case traced in 2011. So since 2011 to date, we actually have 124 operations now, which led to the rescue of 428 victims and other children at risk, and also led to the 183 arrests of perpetrators and 51 convictions. And answering your question as to the ages, 87% of the victims that we rescued are actually minors, 18 below 18, but almost 50% of those minors are 12 years and below.
Nagkabata. yun sila.
Yes, that's
dako siya o percentages no nga bata.
yes,
Jud.
almost half of the children rescued in these cases.
My goodness. So, how many referrals from other countries does the Philippines get when it comes to? Okay, I know that, for instance, when I was with Children's Legal Bureau before, Australia would periodically send mga advisories nga a
Right.
pedophile of
Right.
theirs would be traveling to to the Philippines.
Yes.
I don't know if serious ba po to sa taga BI, all these advisories, because the next thing we know, na naman po ito yung na biktima nga pedophile dito sa Dumaguete. But sa inyo sa IJM Philippines lang, how many referrals do you get from all over the world?
Right. So sa IJM Philippines, we work with law enforcement. So we don't get direct referrals. All referrals internationally are coursed through our law enforcement, the PNP or NBI, ATRAD, or DOJ Office of the Cybercrime. So when it comes to numbers, there is only small or even limited public statistics on the referrals. But in 2014, the last public stats on that, 2,600 referrals or cyber tips are being received by our government on a monthly basis.
That's a lot.
2,600.
2,600.
Yes. And
On a
one
monthly basis.
on a monthly basis.
How much more kung per year?
Maapas pa na o ka ng, di ba? Oh.
And that was in 2014. And the numbers might be increasing now. We're already in 2019. And another insight to that is one referral can even lead to identification of over 700 local user accounts. Kaya kanang referral is only coming from international bayana. Wala pa bayana siya wala pa na investigated leading to unsa may mga related local perp accounts dere. So one referral
One referral could be just one perpetrator from somewhere,
Yes.
but he might have a lot of suppliers.
yes, broader network of local suppliers here.
Oh my God.
Yes, the scope actually it's still very difficult to measure the scope of the problem because of the nature of OSEC. It is on the internet. There's part of it that it's still really hidden. It's a layered crime. So it really takes active law enforcement and crime detection. Although IJM right now is working with the Department of Justice and even other international law enforcement authorities in coming up with a prevalence study so we can really measure the baseline for OSEC.
That was in 2014. Ya, karon mas daghan na ra ba gyud hinuog kanang online, like you said, online streaming platforms, and then di ba naapay mga apps nga you can post it for that moment and then
A story. Like
Diba,
a story.
Snapchat.
kanang Snapchat nga, it's not there anymore
Snapchat.
because it was in Snapchat. Ya, may
Right.
like ma-catch.
Saka ng story sa Facebook or sa Instagram,
and then
like
it's
24 hours, and then
ah,
it's gone.
wala.
Right, right.
Oh, naanay way nga matrace na kay they're getting also smarter, these perpetrators, like
Yes.
the content might be available now, and
Right.
when you saw it, and then when you report it, and then when you try to preserve it,
Yes, that's true. So when it comes to investigating OSEC, it's really a highly specialized type of investigation because we're talking about the internet, we're talking about digital evidence. So even the expertise on that area is highly specialized. So it is very challenging.
Difficult.
It is very difficult. But what we're seeing hope because the Philippine law enforcement, the PNP, and even NBI, they've responded to the call by committing to an ICAC specialist embedded in their units. ICAC meaning Internet Crimes Against Children Specialist who will investigate OSA cases.
so
Highly trained
naanay.
person embedded in their units.
so the PNP is developing such
Yeah.
police officers. na-
Yes, in fact, there is already an ICAC specialist embedded in PNP in Krame, and there's also one embedded in the NBI, NBI ATRAD. And our ICAC specialists are also working alongside with this ICAC specialist and our partner law enforcement agencies to assist them in investigating cases and also transfer of skills and knowledge in the investigation as well.
So,
Nahanglan sa siguro ICAC specialist sa prosecution, no? Kay para
Yes, I totally agree.
DOJ, National
DOJ.
Prosecution Services, pag-train mo og kanang unsa to internet
Internet crimes
crimes against
against
children. nga
Actually, there is
specialist.
already, under the DOJ, we have the Office of the Cybercrime.
For how many sila?
Yeah.
Then, ang NAPROS, daghan biyag Cebu
That's-
City, Dumaguete City.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. They're a good
Organisa.
resource to the NPS and the prosecutors here, although they are based in Manila.
Manila.
So,
Kada city o listen to this ha.
yes.
National
So that would be
Prosecution.
a really good
Nindot na,
advocacy
nag-i-train.
piece. Yes, specialized man jud good ang OSEC,
Kada
so
city, kada
even
province.
yes, even a prosecution has calls for
kaya-
specialization as well.
Okay, for example, kita mo'y fiscal ana, Attorney Kim niya, dito kibaw mangutana. May lag naa ang IJM prosecutors all the time niya. What if ang
kung wala na
fiscal,
wala nang IJM nga assistance, like, unsaon man ang pag, like, ask.
Yeah, even if IJM will no longer be working alongside with public prosecutors, it is still sustainable because the way we do our model is collaborative casework.
Yes.
With collaborative casework, we really work alongside with our public prosecutors, so we could diagnose where are the roadblocks, what are the gaps, but at the same time, it is also our way of transferring knowledge and skills when it comes to OSEC prosecution. Because IJM lawyers, that's all we do. That's the only case that we prosecute day in, day out, only OSEC cases. So over time, we gain specialization and expertise on the field, and we wanted also to transfer that skills and knowledge to the public prosecutors so that by the time the nature of NGO projects, we are only
Yes.
at a given,
Basta,
yes,
I have a project
right,
life.
Project Life. But our goal actually is we are shooting for a more sustainable way of doing our casework, and that is through collaborative casework.
So eventually, the goal is really to train
Yes.
every member of the criminal justice system. Yan dapat, naa naman tayo cybercrimes court. Dapat ang judges,
Yes.
di sa get ang,
Yes,
diba?
that's true.
Sa pag,
There have been already trainings, judges with the PhilJA, competency enhancement trainings. They've done it last year and I think 2 years ago. When it comes to prosecutors, there's also the post-training. We call it prosecuting online sexual exploitation training. So the fiscals that are handling OSEC cases are actually being sent to those training as well. To reinforce that training, that's why we do collaborative casework with the fiscals.
I have a question. I don't know if kanang nakaka-catch up na ang what you call it, judiciary ani kay for example children,
Right.
so family court.
Yes.
Pero nabiasan sila karon nga everything nga cybercrime adto sa cybercrimes court which rarely be family court.
Yes.
So dapat siguro ang naagyoy whoever will get to prosecute it is child sensitive at I mean whoever will get to hear the case na ay kanang orientation na pud ba towards, di ba,
Yes.
child and gender sensitivity as well as cybercrime detection. Pero kinsa man
Right.
gid mo'y naay jurisdiction ana.
That's a good question, Attorney
Oo.
Irene, because when in January, I think in January last year, di ba, naaman to'y circular from OCA saying that all cybercrime
Cybercrime.
cases will be under the jurisdiction
Of
of
the commercial courts.
Yes, commercial courts.
And all commercial courts are now cybercrime courts. What if
Yes.
it involves children?
But then, there's a clarification to that. In case cybercrime cases involving children, either accused or a CICL or victims, they should be under the jurisdiction of the family court.
Believe na genius na gini nga itong mga family court judges.
Yes.
Kay kinahanglan na sa
Kinahanglan.
sila mag cybercrime. Kinahanglan, mas specialist pa gani sila kaysa mga cybercrime specialist. No? Kay sila goy mo,
Yes.
sila goy mo decide.
Right,
Sila
and mo
mo-
appreciate sa evidence. The nature of evidence in OSEC is digital. Digital form.
Yes, attorney, I have a question. Yung kaning prosecution cases ba nga ang children, maybe there will be times that the child will be placed in the stand, sa witness stand, and of course, if naa siya dito, he or she will be reliving kanang mga experiences nga na-happen niya ato nga
Yes.
time. Is there like a way or strategy nga murag kanang let's try not to have the child in the witness stand and not
Oh, yeah.
face
Yes.
the perpetrator
Yes.
that
Yes.
way? Is there
Yes.
was there a device or anything?
You know, there is a way, and in fact, one of the strategies that we're really passionate about is around child protection when it comes to engaging the child in the legal process. And under our rules on examination of child witness, Section 29 there allows audio tape or videotaped in-depth interview of a child in lieu of the live testimony of the child. You just have to justify an exception that the child is unavailable to testify, or testifying in court would cause serious
trauma.
psychological injury to
More
the child.
trauma,
So in our cases, what we have tested actually is to do a videotape in-depth interview of a child. So you already have the videotape interview of the child, and you have the interviewer executing an affidavit in
That he was
relation
the one who
to
interviewed.
the disclosures of the child. At inquest, instead of having the child
face
Go
the
to
fiscal.
court and
face the fiscal or in the prosecution office, and sometimes it's an intimidating environment, di ba? Kaysa inquest, na ay mga naglinya din na nakaposas, and imagine a 6-year-old having to walk
Go
an
through that.
alley, an aisle of those newly arrested. It's an intimidating environment. So what we have done now is to have the videotaped interview with the interviewer's affidavit as part of the attachment in the case filing, and then the fiscal normally would say, no, okay, it's okay, we don't need to have the child or interview the child. And that is at inquest, and it's very encouraging because nakakita namin that the fiscals are recognizing it. It is in the rules. It's just that we needed to test it and really apply.
And also, di na sad siguro kinahanglan mo testify siya in court if all the elements like, di ba,
Yes.
ma-preserve, ma-show lang yun nimo that there was really a transaction.
Yes.
Ang nag-transact ana ang pimp ramang gyud,
Oh.
the pimp perpetrator, and ang katong the poser
Buyer. Yeah.
the money. Yeah, ang imuhang probably physical evidence ana is whatever video footage
Right.
so
Shown,
pas
The
hindi na
child porn
kinahanglan gyud
materials,
na-
the
kay-
yeah, itself. Yeah.
kay usahay that can be a challenge baya pod in the prosecution of trafficking cases.
Tinuod.
Ang witnesses, di ba? Murag, kung wala na din ha imong biktima or imong biktima when it happened 13 years old tungod sa kadugay sa case na na-adult na lang or 15, 16 na adult na lang.
Right.
Maingon nagdi ko.
Change
kaluoy.
ng mind.
Change ang mind. Di na ko kay mauwaw ko. So, di ba?
Yes, that's really true, Attorney Irene. In fact, can you imagine an 8-year-old child testifying in court against her mom, who is her abuser, recounting the sexual abuses that she underwent before a judge nga stranger to her, before the public prosecutor nga maybe she met 2 weeks ago in preparation for her testifying, na ay court stenographer, na ay court staff. It's an intimate, kita man gani mga adults, mga kuyawan man kita mo testify in court, how much more of a child, 'di ba? So
Niya, ang bata, lisod ra explain nun, nga, we're trying to do this para ma-arrest imong mom because your
Correct.
mom did something wrong.
Right.
That burden should not be
On
on
the
her.
child.
She
Sometimes
doesn't need to,
sometimes also the child will feel nga dapat side ko sa akong mom
Mama.
kay mama magini na ko.
Yeah.
Marabag, it's not on you, it's not your fault if she gets arrested ha, kay you don't have to testify. Kami na lang, kung pwede, just let us be the ones who are the, no, wa na kay,
wala na siya
Di na ka-
involvement.
wala siya
yun.
investment in the trial,
right.
di ba?
That's true. That's true. Just to protect her from re-traumatization.
So far, attorney, how many videotape interviews has IJM done?
Yes, so we've started using videotape interviews since 2013, and we have around 25 to 26 cases where we use videotape forensic interview.
I see. And kaning
Around 55 victims where They had videotape in-depth interviews taken.
Kaning, so all those efforts to try to prevent or the online sexual exploitation of children para matabangan nato ang mga children kaning na victimize sa OSEC, what is your vision that you want to achieve for this? Can we ask for it?
Yes, so ultimately, our goal is really for all stakeholders, the community, the churches, the government, to own up the fight to protect the children. So it's not just reliant on the government. Yes, the government is the primary
Yes, duty-bearer.
duty bearer to protect our children, but also the churches, the community, the local governments.
It's a team effort.
It is a team
The
effort.
schools.
The schools, the prosecutors, the social workers. Can you just imagine all of these rally around protecting even a single child? So that is actually, what we're trying to achieve here.
Because the way I see it, maskin pag highly trained, ato ang mga prosecutors, ang ato ang police officers are highly trained without community effort, but it's hard enough to detect that, it's hard enough to disseminate that this perpetrator may have access to 70 suppliers of cyber pornographic materials
Right.
involving children, but without the help sa community, unsaon na nimo pag house to house, like you say, one what you call it, one buyer alone niya
Oo.
pila ka buok.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
and before we went on air, actually, you were discussing with us, Attorney Lucille, na ang IP address problems
Yes.
Right.
of detecting here in the Philippines. Maybe you can share it.
Yes, so in the trainings, we get asked a lot, attorney, so yun na siguro na kayo, you just get the IP address, and then you will be able to have the
To
location.
single out the
Yes.
house or the
So in reality, it's not that easy because compared to other countries, ang IP address, let's say in the US, is actually permanent and fixed. So one device is assigned to one IP address. You could trace the address up to the street and the house number. However, our IP addresses here in the Philippines is dynamic and it is shared. So you could say that one IP address might be shared by multiple households within a kilometer radius. So it's not like you have an IP address and then you will be able to identify, this is this house. No. That's
Because
why,
there are a lot of them.
yes. And it changes
Yeah, kung highly
every 6
urbanized,
months.
ang 1 square kilometer nga IP address could yield how many houses?
That's true.
Thousands
Oo,
siguro.
oo.
Kung imong tanawon ang
Yeah. So it's not really that easy. That's why our law enforcement partners are also doing their best to really detect this kind of crime.
So, how do they usually go about detecting it from your experience? Like, you know that it's in that area. They have to go house to house, or they rely on informants, or they rely on the community, or
Right. So it's going to be a mix, and they have investigative methods that we cannot disclose on air. But what I can say is they do online investigation, and they also do field surveillance. So it's
okay.
gonna be both, and it could be a combination of different investigative methods. But the key here is, since OSEC is not just a local crime, it is a global crime. So it also takes international collaboration. Our law enforcement partners here, or let's say the PNP and NBI, they actually collaborate with their foreign law enforcement partners, like the Australian Federal Police, or the FBI, or Nordic, or NCA. So because this is a global crime, one local perp may have customers in the UK, Canada, US, or Australia.
So there's multiple jurisdictions.
Yes. So what they do is really they also get evidence and leads from those foreign law enforcement to tie it up and trace where the materials are coming from here. So it takes not just local investigation but international collaboration as well.
Okay, more on that international collaboration after this break when we hear a few messages from our friends. We'll be back. And we are back. Attorney Lucille, you have discussed with us very thoroughly your operations in IJM in regards to the prosecution, the detection, investigation, and then the prosecution of cases. Now, what about aftercare for these victims and even for their families, I suppose?
Yes, right. So when it comes to the aftercare needs of OSEC victims, this is highly nuanced. Very specific kani ilang mga needs. You can imagine there are very young, also highly sexualized victims, and their primary support person, supposedly family, but are complicit to the abuse. So there are a lot of needs when it comes to aftercare. Like for instance, we needed shelters who can cater to sibling groups, because one rescue is not just a rescue of one child. It's a rescue of
All.
siblings. It could be boys, girls. So that's one need. And we are just very encouraged because Door of Hope Cebu is a new shelter that has been opened that would cater to sibling groups.
Yeah, kay Luis, i-separate sila, no? Nakuan pa gani, nawa pa gani sa ilahang...
Separate pa silang balay,
Balay.
separate pa gyud sa ilang
Ibig sa pa ilahang
maigsuon.
ginikanan, nga mga
Right.
amaw po yung ginikanan, nga,
Oo.
separate pa sila from each other, kaluwi po. But what if these children were also sexualized with each other?
Right.
Yun naman ay uban nga. Oh.
That's why these shelters should also be equipped in providing therapeutic care sa mga bata. They should be able to provide not just shelter placement, food, clothing, but also therapy, counseling to the children, and also help really the children journey towards rehabilitation. So that's why these shelters and the caregivers they have to be trained also. We have a lot of trainings when it comes to trauma-informed care. No? So isa sa na siya ka-need. And not only providing aftercare to the victims themselves, but also to the families. Kay the shelter is not a good place for children to grow up in. No, kay it's not the normal setup.
Dapat makuan og community, mabalik
Yes,
sa family.
Yes, they should grow up in an environment that's really a family setting. So the end in mind is to reintegrate them to the family. So we're looking at kinship care. We're looking at foster families to provide foster care, and we have to prepare the families that will provide
will
kinship
receive.
care, or the families that will provide foster care as well. So kana siya, while we are preparing the child, the families will also have to be prepared.
Okay. Murag, I seem to recall it was a shelter run by nuns, and then silang sister mo ingon gud sila nga, especially with this sexually exploited
Right.
children or girl child nga nahimo ng mga young ladies later on, maglabad pug gyud kuno ilang ulo kay mangambak man kay manguyab sa mangikyas ba, manguyab sa neighbors. May I know what if ang katong mga intended kinship care nga recipients or ang foster families unta ang receive nila, how do you prepare them also to expect that, or parang di
Right.
sila ma-discourage, or parang this is what might happen, are you ready for this, kay if not
Right.
balhin og di ba
Yes,
isa magbalhin
that's true.
balhin.
So there's a selection process, and we partner with agents like Norfil. Norfil is
Norfil,
really ilahamag yun ang that's really the core of their work, foster care. And also we partner with churches. So the selection process of foster families is one step. Another step is providing them the training, or even providing them trauma-informed care training, and also giving them proper orientation of the nature of the children that they will be receiving and their role in the rehabilitation and healing of the children.
I've heard also that kanang ang mga churches, they're really active on trying to with their kanang assistance with the IJM na moadto gid sila sa kaning nursing sa shelter, and then they give food, they preach, and they give them hope ang children na there is a God na like that.
Yes.
There is always light in the darkness.
Yes, we are very thankful of our church partners. No, daghan kay mga church partners that really addresses that kind of need sa healing sa mga bata and their families. I could name a few of our partners at the Bradford Church, Victory, and even Ictus in Mandaue, and all other church partners. They're very passionate in, being the extension of God's love and care for these children here. So we're very grateful for them. Yeah.
And kuan sad kung sila na'y ma-traumatize, ang kaninang mga foster care tagaan gyapon og aftercare care, di ba?
Tinuod, mga
NGO
caregivers.
workers,
That's
we
true.
know nga usahay kita na ang na
Compassion,
traumatize. Oh.
compassion fatigue, or even
kana, I like that
secondary,
compassion
trauma.
fatigue
Yes.
or kanang
Vicarious
secondary
trauma or secondary stress.
who's taking care of them also, so murag
Yes, that's true. I really like that you pointed it out, Attorney Irene, because even sa IJM, in-house, we have, as part of our staff care, we have a trauma care specialist. Because we're dealing with very graphic materials and we're dealing with really painful stories of children, di ba? So, over time, it could lead to either secondary stress or vicarious trauma or even compassion fatigue. So,
kanang manam no,
care for the
I've heard that
caregivers,
already,
diba?
so murag
Murag
bitaw say makuan ka
Yes.
mabato.
And we have actually extended that to our law enforcement partners and even some of the prosecutors nato kay it's really a need for our work to be sustainable. We have also to take care of our caregivers.
Correct. Kay
Yes.
it's not an easy thing to be doing day in and day out. You've been with IJM for several years already.
7
I
years.
see you in trial all the time when so ang mga cases pag yun trafficking. How did you I mean, can you share with our audience your personal journey with IJM and what gets you going and what keeps you doing what you do?
Yes.
No matter the
What is
vicarious
your
trauma to you.
Right.
IJM
story.
Yes, my IJM story. I started at IJM as an intern, a legal intern in 2007. I went to my University of San Carlos is in the middle of the red light district. As you know, it's along Jonquera Street and San Shanco. And as a student, I go to my car in the parking where bars are just around there.
Yes,
And I
yes,
felt like,
Camagayan.
yes, Camagayan area. And I felt like I want to do something, but I wanted to use, the law in doing something for these prostituted women. When I got to IJM, I was a law student then, and fresh from the bar in 2012, I was admitted as an associate attorney. And IJM is a faith-based organization. We are a community of spiritual formation. And what really keeps us going is really the realization that rescuing these children is God's way. Because it is God's heart, it is God's passion to protect these children and to protect the poor from violence. At the end of the day, I cannot ensure that the children will be restored, or I cannot ensure a successful rescue, but we have so much faith of the God and the Father who is way bigger than the enormity of this issue. And if we care for these children, if our heart breaks for these children, all the more our God breaks, his heart breaks for these children, and would do everything, move people, move governments, move resources, bring people just to rescue even that one child.
Even that one child
Even
is
that one
already
child.
worth it.
Yes, it's all worth it.
So, any more thoughts that you can share regarding online sexual exploitation, or reminders maybe to the public to make them more aware and to make them more sensitive? Kay, as you said, it is nuanced. So, makapick up dayon ba?
Right.
That might be something there. Okay.
Yes. I just want to share that in most of our cases, when we interview the child, I recall even this one case where she said that her rescue was an answered prayer. And can you imagine a rescue where to some of us we just think that it's part of our work or it's part of our day-to-day job, but
To the kid.
to that one child it is an answer
Answered
to
prayer.
her years of prayer. So my just the message that I just want to get across is that think of it that how many prayers of children who are silenced in their homes, silenced by the abuse by their parents and even their family members. How many prayers are yet to be answered if we just do something and we become part of the answer to those prayers?
So, Ana, I'm pretty sure nga daghang natandog ilahang hearts karon by that sentiment that we can be someone's answered prayer by getting involved.
Right.
So, how practical tips or advice on how to get the community involved? Kaya base niyo, di man may makahibaw sad mi, nagduda lang mi, pero di man mi makasulod sa balay. Pero nating lang gid mi nga kaning amo ang neighbor nakapalit lang og computer, nakapakonek lang og laan, and all of a sudden,
Yes.
koan, and then hala iyang mga anak skimpy na kay mga shorts. So how practical tips
Right.
on who to go to and
Yes.
what to do.
If you are in the community, because OSEC actually happens in the community, and you've seen red flags, you've seen children, coming in and out of this house at odd times of the day, or you have heard that this neighbor of yours are into cyber sex or chat or online. There are many different terms in the locality about OSEC. Then report to authorities, because if you know that it is happening but you're not reporting, your omission or your silence is actually part of the problem, part of having the children stay in that situation longer than they should. It is, if you don't report it, you are actually hindering the timely rescue to come to these children. So if you know of instances of OSEC, go to your nearest WCPD or go to the nearest authorities, report it. If you're also with the church, I really put this call out there, the call to justice for the church to really rally to the needs of the children. We are in need of shelters that could cater to sibling groups, that could cater to really young OSEC victims. If you have that ministry in your churches, please reach out to us and open your doors to these kinds of ministry. Yes, and also to prosecutors, to police officers, to judges, and every people who come in contact with a child. Think of it that the child is really in need of assurance of people that could support her and that the child could trust. So it is important for us to see it from the lens of the child.
Does IJM have a hotline? Because some people might be afraid to go to the authorities. Kaya mahibawaan niya nga ako may informant. Can
Yes.
IJM receive the information and maski anonymous tip lang,
Right.
or di ba?
Yes. If you have tips or information, IJM does not receive tips or information, but the law enforcement partner that we really work with is the PNP WCPC Women and Children Protection Center. Their office is at the PRO 7. We will try to post their hotline in the program or in the coming program, but you can actually report it with anonymity. You don't have to say your name, you just have to say the information, and the police will take it from there to investigate those cases.
So you take the tips from the authorities themselves,
Right.
or the information from the
Yes.
authorities themselves.
And
Okay.
then we just support law enforcement as they do their investigation or the cases. So we are only providing support to them.
So just to be clear, those who want to share their information, you don't have to do so, thinking that there might be an official record there somewhere. You can do it anonymously through
Right.
the Women and Children Protection Center
Yes.
of the Police Regional Office. Anyway, our time is almost up. Any last words or final message for our viewers?
Yes, for the perpetrators out there who are still doing this and thinking dili mo masakpan or madakpan, I think your days are already counted, because we have a lot of police partners who are actually looking after you and investigating, not just locally but internationally. So it will just be a matter of days before you will be arrested. So I really encourage you to stop. Otherwise, just remember the penalties of the law. It's life imprisonment.
Yes. Life imprisonment is really for life.
Right.
And fine.
And fine.
With fine as well.
So, Attorney Kim,
Yes, thank you. I want to thank you so much, Attorney Lucille. Keep inspiring and keep up the work you do in IJM. And guys, thank you for me being here and co-hosting with Attorney Irene. Mahinaot nga mutabang tatanan nga to win against this fight against online sexual exploitation of children.
okay.
Attorney Irene.
And yes, I echo the messages from my friends here. And just one final word: God is watching us. He's always watching us. Good night, everyone.